In the last video, I showed how I, a girl from Brazil, started building my house in Germany. Now, we dip into 4 DIYs while 7 construction crews raid the house. My dream house in the Black Forest stands. It already looks amazing. Now the final phase of the construction starts. We're still living in a rented apartment nearby, hoping to move into our new home soon. Zed is loving it. But our stuff is in storage, and the work for us is far from being ready. The first building crew left the site, leaving behind materials for the next part of the project. It's DIY time. And we did this one on the first week of construction. We had to reinforce the rain gutters due to the snow wave in our region. We also got the scaffolds done. The first building crew to show up was for the drywall. We asked them to leave some electrical cables inside the ceiling and walls. They insert the insulation where it's missing and then close the walls with plasterboards. The reason why we hung more power lines was because the electrician wanted to charge us 10,000 euros more for the extra ceiling lamps and power outlets not included in the contract. In total, for cables and outlets and paying the drywall team for the extra effort, we didn't even spend 500 euros. The next DIY was not a choice. We hired a local handyman to bring all connection lines from the street into our home. He agreed to do it for 2,000 euros. He dug the trenches, found the lines, and then installed. He said his excavator broke down. He didn't need his excavator to continue the work, but he didn't show up anymore. And we couldn't wait weeks. More working crews were coming, and they need the water and electric power to do their job. So we got to it. The process is actually simple. You lay sand on the bottom of the ditch, cut the pipes to the right length, connect them at the right angle, and cover them with sand again. As we never did this before, it took us a few days. We ended up doing half of the commission of the work. The handyman eventually came back to close the ditches, and his final bill was 4,000 euros, the double of what we agreed. And we ended up having to pay it. The water specialists were very efficient and laid all water connection pipes where needed. Laying the air ducts all over the house was more complicated, but they did a great job going through the building floor and walls. In a high energy efficiency house, the building is airtight, making it necessary to exchange and circulate the air automatically. We wanted a special stairs for our house that could not be built by the contractor. As the working crews still needed a temporary staircase, it was up to us to provide them one. We worked on the weekends and evenings. Maybe not the prettiest staircase you ever saw, but it worked. Like with the stairs, a natural walk-in shower could not be built by the construction company with any guarantee. We had to build one ourselves. For now, all we needed to do was to get the wall studs up in place and surrounded with something that would keep the liquid from flooding it later. An interesting team came along in April. They were like 10 people and brought a lot of styrofoam with them. They leveled the floor of the whole house so that cables, ducts, and water pipes didn't stick out anymore. And they did it all in one day. It was fascinating to watch. After the styrofoam work, they covered all with a thick protection layer and security to the walls. At the same time, the air and heating systems were delivered and assembled in place. Another fun part was to see how the floor heating is laid. If you're not familiar with this type of heating, it works by running tubes under the future floor and filling them with water in a closed circuit connected to a heating system. The system then warms up the water according to your settings and pumps it through the tubes of a certain room, heating up the floor of that area. We opted to leave certain rooms without heating, as they would be used mostly for storage. Temperatures there will never be very low because they will still exchange air with the other rooms and are enclosed in the insulated house shell. But for instance, our house pantry will preserve food better if we leave it a bit chilly. Finally, the last professionals arrived and they brought with them a silo of liquid screed, also known as flow screed. It works by connecting water to the silo, mixing the powder material into the right consistency and pumping it through a hose inside the house. After 2 weeks drying up, we have a beautiful floor and a real door. Although things don't always go as expected, we were blessed with a competent and honest construction company that listened to us and solved most of the issues. Coming up next. Did you notice we began building the permanent stairs? We have only 3 months to make the house a living space. Do you think we will make it in time?